everybody, welcome to Make It with Mod Podge. My name's Cathie and today I've got the cutest spring hats to share with you. I'm going to show you how to do napkin decoupage on these trucker baseball hats. And look at these adorable napkins. I've got a blue china print, this really cute pink bow, and some wildflowers. Kind of looks like a watercolor. I'm using fabric Mod Podge to tie all of this together. This is so simple to do, but so cute when it's finished. All right, let's get started. For this project, I'm using plain trucker hats, paper napkins, and Mod Podge. The first thing that you're going to do is open up your napkins and you're going to separate the plies. We're only going to use the top printed ply of the napkin. So separate the napkins by peeling them apart. I use the other part of the napkin just for my cleanup. So we're only going to use the part that's printed, and this is the feathering technique. So I'm going around with a little bit of water on a detailed paintbrush, and I'm getting close to the design and just painting the water along that edge. And then I'm going to go in with my fingernail and tear and feather that edge. That's going to make it blend with the hat much better than a cut edge. You could use a toothpick here also, and you can even just sort of pull it. Now for detailed napkins like this where you have a shape, you can also go in and just cut close to it with your scissors. And again, you can also do a tear out method like this where you're creating that feathered edge, and that's really cool for an overall look. Okay, let's go ahead and get this down. For this, I'm using matte Mod Podge. You could also use the fabric formula here. And let's put that in for placement. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of the Mod Podge down. You can't see there because it's absorbing, but it is a thick coat. And I just have a little bit in the center. And then I'm gonna continue to add Mod Podge underneath the napkin. I don't wanna use too much where I'm coating it all over. And then I'm using the paintbrush to press down the bits of the napkin. For this hat, I'm going to be doing an all over design. So I'm just adding the Mod Podge under there and then adding a little bit more to the top. Don't worry about top coating because we're going to top coat the entire thing once we have all of the napkin pieces down. I like to go in with my hand or my fingers and just kind of press down a bit and make sure I really have it in position. Okay, now for those edges, let's go ahead and make a crease and cut along there, and we will have our napkin go right up against the pink on the hat. This is just my personal preference. I like to have some of the napkin look like it's sort of coming off of the edge of the hat. So go ahead and add a nice thick coat of the Mod Podge, and then let's place our napkin piece down. And same thing, keep adding our Mod Podge a little bit underneath those edges and pressing with the brush, and of course you can press with your fingers too. You can see that I'm almost finished here. Gonna finish up this hat, and once it's finished, you're going to let that dry for about 10 hours, and then we'll go ahead and add a top coat. Because the trucker hats have that sort of foam base, it does take a little bit longer to dry. So now I'm doing a full top coat over the whole thing, and I'm gonna let that dry overnight. These turn out so cute. I really, really love it. So again, let that dry overnight, and once it's dry, you are good to go. Okay, let's take a look at just doing a one design instead of an all over pattern. Same kind of thing, but here I don't want to use too much of the Mod Podge because I don't want it to show on the other parts of the hat. So you can see that I'm going in and adding it, pressing down my napkin piece, and then I'm going to fold back the napkin and add a little bit more. And I'm going to do that until that entire piece of napkin is, I guess you would say, appliqued down or Mod Podge down. I really love how this watercolor flower napkin looks with this yellow hat. And again, these are the trucker style hats, so they have the foam, but this same technique would work on an all over cotton hat. Look how cool that turns out. And for this one, I did let it dry overnight as well. Okay, let's do the cute bow. Same kind of concept. You can see I just added a little bit in the center, and then I'm going to work by gluing down each of the sides. And for this one, I'm going to finish it off a little bit different. I did seal it down, but for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to it. For any of these designs, you could add rhinestones. For this, I'm going to use Sparkle Mod Podge. It's going to go on white like this, but it's going to dry just clear and sparkly. It has very fine Aurora Borealis glitter in it, so it's going to pick up all of the colors that are around it, and it's a really pretty look. It just gives a nice soft dusting of glitter. So that's what it looks like when it's wet. And let's take a look at it when it's dry. You can see all that pretty sparkle. Thanks so much for joining me today. I know I'm going to be sporting those hats this spring and summer. I love how they turned out. I'll be back here next week with another fun project to share with you. And until then, have a super crafty week. Bye.